Hello guys, my name is Kishan and today we are going to look at an Oracle SQL and plsql interview question, and that is how to reverse a number string with Oracle plsql. Now this is one of the most favorite questions when they want you to write some code, whether a function, procedure or a NMS block. They would ask you to reverse a string, reverse a number string. Say they might give you 1 2 3 4 or any input string and ask you to just reverse it. Okay, so today the example that I'll be looking into is like if you have 1 2 3 4, how will you reverse it and make it 4 3 2 1. So let's start. Now to do this you have two ways. Either first of all you use the reverse function that Oracle provides, and other is of course when you have numbers you can have a mathematical approach for it. We'll look into both of them, but I am quite sure that you will not be asked to do it with the reverse function, because then it is damn easy. All you need to do is use the reverse function. I'll just show that to you and then we'll look at the mathematical approach. So it's like select. Now you want to reverse a string. Okay, so you will use the reverse function and you can write something like from dual. Okay, and now when you want to reverse it, you cannot reverse a number directly. You need to convert into character first and then reverse the character string. So you do something like toChar and you give an input of 1 2 3 4, execute it. Here you have an output of 4 3 2 1. Now if you don't use this toChar and try to just do it with number, even Oracle doesn't help. It will tell that we are looking for character, you gave us number. Here inconsistent data type, expected character, got number. So yeah, you can say that we can use the reverse function with the toChar data conversion and take the number, but mostly they will be looking at the other approach. Why? Because that you need to put some logic into it. You need to get more into that math and all, and you'll be demonstrating by using different functions and others looping and all. So of course they'll be asking you to do it with the other approach and not just simple reverse function thing. So what is this math approach? First of all, say my input is 1 to 3 and I want to convert it to 3 to 1. How can I do it? Can I do something like I take the rightmost number over here, okay, at the ones place, that is 3, and make it the leftmost number when my approach is done. So I take 3 which is at the ones place and make it to 3 that is at the hundreds place. Okay, from here at the ones place I want it to come to the hundreds place. So I can get first 3, then I can take the second one and then convert it to the second first or the second last, like that. Then I take the first one, that is 1. So this is how you can grow. Like first of all target 3, then target 2, make it 3 2, then target 1, make it 3 to 1, like that. So how can we do that? Now the effective way of doing it, like how you can code it out easily in an effective way, would be like first take 1 to 3 and we want to make it 3 to 1, right? So first of all target 3, that is the rightmost element, okay, at the ones place. Now once we have the 3, do something like multiply 3 into 10 so that you get 30, and then take the second element, that is 2, and add it to it. So you get 32, right? What I did, I took 3 and then the next step that I did was take 3 into 10 and I added the second element, so I get 32. And now next thing what I can do is I can take this 32, multiply it by 10 and add the first integer, that is 1 over here, and make it 321. Okay, so this you can code it out. See, it is something static, like you are taking an element, multiplying it by 10, adding with the next element. Okay, first I took 3, multiplied by 10, added 2 to it. Then I took this number, multiplied by 10 and added the first integer to it. So this is an approach which you can loop it, there's no need of any hard coding into it. Hard coding would be something like you just make that program for a particular number. Okay, like if I create a function or something which can be used only in that particular input, then that would be hard coding. Okay, but if you take this approach, tomorrow say your input is 1 2 3 4 5, okay, you can still consider this approach. First take 5, multiply it by 10, okay, then add the next number, that is 4, it becomes 54. Then again multiply 54 by 10, add the next number, that is 3, make 5 4 3, and so on. So even if your numbers are more or less, even if your string varies, you can still go with this approach. Now there can be other approaches also where you just hard code the loopings, like loop 4 times or loop 3 times, like that, based on your input. But then again it would not be that easy, and you will just land into your interviewer asking you, can you make it more generic, can you not hard code, and things like that. So we'll not look at all those approach. We'll look at this effective way of doing it. Okay, how can we achieve this? First of all, so how can I get 3 out of 1 to 3? What can help me? The modulus function, right? MOD. You give it two variables, first and second. It will divide the first by the second, so it will divide our 1 to 3 by 10. What is the remainder? 3, right? So we get 3 out of there. So if I want to find out 3 from this 1 to 3, I can just take mod of 1 to 3 by 10 and I'll get the output of 3. Okay, so then I want 2 out of it. Now how can I get 2? Can I do something like I divide 1 to 3 by 10, so I get 12, and then I take a mod of 12, right? So this approach is like, even if a string is more, you can always do this modulus and divide and still reduce your string one by one. First I had 1 to 3, I took 3 out of it, used it, then I get concentrate on only 12, because I just divide 1 to 3 by 10, so my output will be 12. Then I use this 12, take a mod of 12, which will give me 2. Okay, so I can just loop it out. There's no need of hard coding to do into it. So this is that way. Now what I'll do is I'll just put this out in a code. I'll just code this thing out. It's very simple. I'll do a set server output on so that we can see the output. Okay, we start with declare begin and end as always. In declare, what I'll do is I'll take first of all one variable and store our input string to it. Okay, so I'll call my variable as p number. I'll give a data type of pls integer. Why? Because they are good with numerical additions and subtraction and all those arithmetic operations. So I'll use p number as a variable name, pls integer is the data type. I'll give an input of 1 2 3 4 to it. Okay, now as you see in our approach over here, we will be taking a modulus of a number and then using that number into 10 and then adding our next input. So this is the way we are doing. So can you see that we need a variable to hold this 3, then 2, then 1. Okay, so I'll tell that integer as p intermediate number, right? I'll give a data type of pls integer to it also. And when we are using any numbers and going to do any addition or subtraction or anything with those numbers, always do give them 0, because assign a value 0 to them, because if you don't, they'll contain null into it, and any arithmetic operation with null will just result into null. I'll show that one, like what happens if you don't give a if you don't assign 0 to your variables, what happens. Okay, so I have two variables now, and as you can see first I get this 3 into 10 plus 2 32, and then I'm using this 32 into 10. So I'm even considering these variables that I'm getting, right? So I need a placeholder to catch these variables also. So that is like how my output string is generated, right? First I had 3, then I had 32, then I had 3 to 1. So this is how my output string is generated. So I'll just call it p out number, give the same data type and assign 0 to it. Okay, so as we started, what we wanted the first is we want a loop to run to our number. We want this first 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So I need a loop. Now if you have your input as 1 2 3 4, you can say that I want to rotate my loop for 4 times, right? So I'll just take a loop first, loop, and when you start a loop you need to end it. So loop and end loop. So once you have, you need to exit it. It cannot go on forever, right? So you need to have an exit when condition. here you can do two things. Is like, first of all, if you want that hard-coded approach, you know that you have four integers over here. There's 1 2 3 4, so you can just loop the have the loop run for 4 times. But I want to make it pretty generic, so what I'll do is I'll loop it out when I don't have a number left to work with. Like, okay, first I'll work with 4, then I'll work with 3, then 2, and then 1. So at the end I'll have 0. So when my p number becomes 0, which is less than or equal to 0, I don't want to go on with the loop anymore. Like, that is done. So I'll put the loop condition like that. Otherwise you can have a counter and rotate it 4 times, and when the counter is at the 4th time you can exit, like where counter is greater than 4, like that. But I'll take a generic approach and I will stop the loop when I don't have an integer value to work with. Okay, so that is my exit when condition. The first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to take out the last element from here. Okay, so how I'll be doing is I'll be taking this pnum. Okay, I'll be using this pnum. I'll mod it by 10 and I'll get the output stored in a variable. So pnum 1 2 3 4 mod of pnum by 10 will give me the output of 4, right? So I'll store that 4 in an variable of this intermediate variable. Oh, I'll just I'll put this variable, assign this to it. So my mode of pnum, my mode of 1 2 3 4 by 10 will give me 4 into this. So I have my first intermediate number. Okay, so what I'll do with this number is, now I'll form the output string. Now my output number will be formed. So I'll take my variable for this output thing, and what I want to do is, as you can see, I wanted my number to be multiplied into 10 and then added with my input. Okay, so firstly I want this addition of my intermediate number to my existing loop. So if I had 4, I have nothing to add it with right over here. But once I have 4 over here, in the next loop I want to do something like 4 into 10 plus the input, that is 3. Okay, then this 4 into 10 plus 3 will be 43. So I'll be doing 43 into 10 plus 2, right? So I will be doing it in the next runs. So first time, whatever I get my intermediate, I want to add it with the existing number. The existing number would be whatever has been generated till now into 10. Like if 4 was generated first, then 4 into 10 plus 3, 43. So 43 is generated, then 43 into 10 plus the next number. So it is whatever is generated, the same variable, whatever is generated into 10 plus the incoming number, my intermediate number. So this is what I want to do, right? So once I get this, for an initial phase I'll look at the output. I'll write in dbms output dot put underscore line, and I'll see what is being generated. Okay, so I'll print this p output every time. So this is my loop, this is done. But still what we want to do is, once we get 1 2 3 4 and we have worked out with 4, next time we want to work with just 1 2 3, right? So then we'll take out the 3 and then we'll work with 1 2. So as you can see, my number from initially 1 2 3 4, it is being changed to 1 2 3, then 1 2, and then 1, and so on. So I am dividing my number by 10. This thing, like you do it, you get your mode out, then you divide your number and then get the new number and then work with the mode of the new number. So how to do it is, we'll just divide. We'll just make that our pnum now changes to pnum divide by 10. Divide by 10. So this is how I want the new number to be changed, like from 1 2 3 4 divided by 10, make it 1 2 3, divide by 10, make it 1 2, and so on, whatever. I'm not hard coding it anyway. So this is our string. Everything looks good. We'll just execute it. Yeah, so here you can see is, first time when the loop came in, my exit condition is if my number is less than or equal to 0. So first time the number was 1 2 3 4, as you can see over here. So the loop went, so it's not, the exit condition is not true, so it went down. Next it got p intermediate number is mode of number by 10. So this p intermediate number will be 1 2 3 4 mod by 10, and that will be 4. So once I have that 4, I'm in the next step. What I'm doing is, in this step, I'm taking the existing number into 10 plus I'm adding my intermediate, that is 4. So I didn't have it existing at that time, so 0 into 10 will give me 0, 0 plus 4 will give me 4, and it has just printed that 4 out here in this DBMS output. Okay, so this 4 has been printed, and then I do the division. I divide my number 1 2 3 4 by 10 and assign it to that very variable. So now 1 2 3 4 becomes 1 2 3, and then it goes again. 1 2 3 is not less than 0, so next step 1 2 3 is mod by 10, it gives me 3. So I have an existing of 4 over here, right? The P out number has been 4 now, so 4 into 10, that is 40, plus my incoming number 3, so the output becomes 43. Okay, then I again divide my now 1 2 3 by 10, so it becomes 12, and so on. See, this loop goes on. That's pretty simple. But now let's see if you are asked to do it not as a plsql NMS block but as a function. Then all you need to change is, instead of this select server output on and declare, what I'll do is I'll create a function. Okay, that is create function. I'll give a function name of test underscore reverse. Okay, and I'll take the input from the user. Okay, so my input will be this very number, so there's no need to declare it over here. I'll take it as an input. I'll paste it here, and now what a function has, it has a return statement. So I'll be returning a PLS integer again, and then my block begins. Okay, I just write is over there. It is done. I need to have some return statement, and there's no need for me to now do an DBMS output. I'll just do return this at the end of the loop. Okay, so this function is ready. I'll just compile it. It is saying that pnum cannot be used as assignment target. Why? Because once you have something coming as an input, you cannot then manipulate it again if it's just an input string, but if it's an in out, you can do it. It says the name is already used by an existing object. I'll put and create or replace, so my existing one will get replaced. As you can see, no errors this time. I'll just recompile it again. Here you can see that the function is compiled, so now I can use it. What I'll do is, now as it's an in out variable, what I can do is I'll use a declare block. Declare begin and end. I'll take an input, say in, that is a number, and my number is 1 2 3 4. Okay, and I'll have an out variable, that is out. Let me take p out as number. I'll take this p in. I don't want to use plsql keywords, so I'll just assign the output of this function to p out, and the value that I'll be passing it into will be p in. So once I get this, I'll take a DBMS output. Of p out. Looks good. Let's execute it. See, I have passed in 1 2 3 4 and I have returned it as 4 3 2 1. So what I did is I used a function of it. I created the function out of it and used it. Now one more thing you can do is, if you are using this pnum over here and it is not allowing you to assign the value back to it, you can just do it. I'll just make it as an p input. Okay, as an in variable, just not as an out. Why? Because I'll just show you what we can do. When I begin, I'll just declare my pnum back here as pls integer. Okay, let me give 0 to it here, or not really required, because what I want to do is I'll just assign this input again back to this pnum. I'll recompile my function. As you can see, the function is compiled. Now instead of this block, as it is only an in variable that is being passed, in parameter that is only with this function, what I'll do is I'll take this select, I'll take the function name. Okay, select function name, I'll give the input, say 1 2 3 from dual, and you can say is I just used a select statement and I got an output of 1 2 3 to 3 to 1. So what we were doing with that reverse, now we are doing with our own function. Like we were using reverse like this, right? And then doing a to char, and then so instead of using this, what we have done is we have created our own function and we are using it with the select statement this way. Okay, so I hope this video was informative. You guys enjoyed watching it. We did a lot of things. We first of all concentrated on the question, that is reversing the string using a very generic way. Okay, then we created a function out of it, used the function with the select statement, and here it is our output. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe. This is Kishan signing off. Thank you.